Hello everybody interested in doing Mafia speedruns, my name is Lembox and this is the second edition of the Mafia 80% speedrun tutorial. It's not conducted as one single video this time, but split into multiple ones, with one video corresponding to 1 to 3 in-game missions, making it easier to maintain and update. If for instance a new strat or glitch has been found out, I can easily modify one video and upload the new version of it instead of updating a 3.5-hour video tutorial. In this introductory video I'm going to show you where to get the game, where to find the leaderboard with rules to the 80% run, all resources one could need in a speedrun, show you how to join the Mafia Speedruns Discord server, to join the community and talk with us about the Mafia games and obviously runs and possible glitches. Afterwards I'm going to show you how to downgrade your version of Mafia to 1.0, which is the fastest version of the game, with the same unhandled exceptions as 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3. How to apply the French language files in order to approximately save 2 minutes over the English version, and how to install the autosplitter load remover for Livesplit. In the second part of the video I'm going to show you the control schemes of the game, especially concerning the so-called primary and secondary setup for driving, two of the more important glitches, the rapid fire glitch and the jumping glitch, and conclude with something about the cops. You're going to find timestamps in the description in case you want to skip a segment or two. Without further ado, let's start with the first point, where to get the game. The obvious option when talking about buying a PC game nowadays is to get a digital copy of it. Let's start with Steam. Just use your Steam client and search for Mafia. I have here the Steam webpage of Mafia. It costs around $15 or 10 euros and it will come as version 1.3 with removed tracks due to licensing issues, but you can find the necessary DTA files in the community hub if you want to look for them. I'll put a link in the description in case someone is interested in them. Let's check also the DRM-free version with GOG, where it's priced the same, that means $15 and 10 euros. And again, you can find the necessary DTA files to get the missing tracks in the GOG forum as well. However, you don't need to do so, since when we install the French language files, we're going to use DTA files that include those missing tracks anyways. Luckily, both Steam and GOG re-added Mafia in August 2017, so you can get Mafia easily from both of these sources. The second option to acquire the game is to get the retail copy, and your best bet would be eBay or local listings a la Craigslist, or in case of Germany, eBay Kleinanzeigen. We're going to check eBay. ebay.com, and if we're looking for the Mafia 3 CD version, do not just look for Mafia 3, because this will result in unwished side effects with constant flashbacks, so don't forget to put the CD at the end. And then obviously limit the category to video games and consoles. And you'll find some listings. Obviously I'm on ebay.com, so you only see the worldwide offers. But you have a Russian offer, for example, for 35 bucks, which is overpriced in my opinion. But you also have an English offer from Australia, so you can see in the shipping that it's pretty expensive. But also here from the United States, or here from France, and we're gonna use the French version anyways, so you can obviously get it here as well. But don't worry, if you happen to get the DVD version, you can also downgrade this one to 1.0. So if you want a retail copy, it doesn't matter if you get the free CD version, which is 1.0, or the DVD version. Beware that none of those versions will work on Windows 7 or 8 after an update, or generally on Windows 10 due to the incompatibility of the save disk DRM, so you're forced to use an OCD crack. Another important advice is that if you install the retail copy, and I suggest to do a manual installation following a thread from the Mafia Scene forum, link in the description, to install it not in hard drive program files Mafia, but rather hard drive games Mafia, in order to prevent classic modern Windows permission shenanigans to happen. After you've gotten a copy of the game, I'd like to show you the leaderboard and the general conditions for an 80% run. Just visit speedrun.com/mafia1, which is easy to remember after an update. Once you're on this site, you immediately see that speedrun.com is botched because HDQ is running. But yeah, you can immediately see the 80% category, which is the main one, and it's selected, with Jazz currently holding the world record with a real time of 2:54.52 and an in-game time of 2:52.26. You might wonder what the exact difference is between real time and in-game time. Well, in-game time means real time without loading times and without the time after you realized the game crashed till you reloaded the last save game. The main reason for the split and timing methods was a discussion in 2015 when several runners complained about the differences in loading times, since they are pretty inconsistent from PC to PC, as you can see on the leaderboard. Here we have roughly 2 minutes. In my run, it's nearly 4 minutes. Here you have roughly 3 minutes. Of course, there could be some crash time, but even in general, Jazz's run doesn't have a crash, my run doesn't have a crash. So you can see, depending on the configuration, there is a huge difference. Obviously, you can run on a RAM disk or on the newest NVMe SSD, but still there are inconsistencies depending on your configuration. And that led Pitpo to create the load remover autosplitter script. On top of that, Mafia is a game that tends to crash in pretty much every place, most likely when you triggered cops, but sometimes just out of the blue, and therefore it makes sense to not punish the runner twice and let him restart the save game for free. Still, there will be some time lost due to the runner having to get back to the spot, but in some cases, like when it crashes after the bank heist in Moonlighting, the time loss is just 10 seconds. But if it crashes when you reach the bank after picking up Paulie, you still lose 7 minutes. So if anyone finds a way to avoid crashes, please post it as a comment under this video or in the Mafia Speedruns Discord, since that would be a huge find, even bigger than most skips I could think of right now. Let's talk about the rules now. As you can see, they are filled with information and split in 3 groups: timing, the rules themselves, and general advices that probably should be omitted. The timing of the run is pretty obvious, since it starts when you skip the cutscene in the mission An Offer You Can't Refuse, where Tommy is smoking near his cab, and after a sudden crash, Sam approaches the car with a limping Paulie for you to help them escape Morello's henchmen. And the timing ends when the cutscene after your 1v1 showdown with Sam on the top level of the art gallery in Death of Art starts. The one with Sam limping away but managing to injure Tom and being vulnerable for some time. Once again, you can't decide. You get the idea. Runs can be timed using the real-time attack RTA convention, what literally is the footage time from start to end, even if the game crashed or similar. Or in-game time, where, just like I said, it's without loads and without the time after the game crashed till you reload the save game. If you want to time in-game time, you should use Livesplit and the load remover autosplitter script created by Pitpo with some optimizations by me for it. I'll show you later how to set it up. I'm working on a similar interface for Lanfair if someone is interested in it, for example if you want to run Mafia on Linux using Wine, but it's still more a work in progress with no estimate. For the rules, runs have to be done in a continuous single segment playthrough, starting with new game or loading the save game of An Offer You Can't Refuse in case you already were on an attempt and want to reset quickly. Now you might wonder, we're using in-game time and there's this exception rule of removing time when the game was crashed. So is there a chance to add a break in the run just by having a crash? Obviously no. If you take a break to make some food, like pop a pizza into the oven or go to the bathroom, it is clearly segmenting your run into 2 bits with the discontinuity due to your break. Hence, if your game crashes, you should try to restart the game as quickly as possible to avoid any unnecessary suspicions towards your run. Runs have to be performed on a non-modified vanilla version of Mafia, exception for patches. If you want to use 1.1 Plus, which will roughly lose 2.5 minutes compared to 1.0, without giving you any advantages when it comes to crashes, you can do so. The mod rule is clear, since one could modify the game to who knows what, and thus the strict rule also excludes the usage of perhaps harmless mods, a la the widescreen mod. The only advantage that one gives you is a less stretched look in a widescreen resolution, otherwise the game is the same and aesthetics of a game aren't vital for a speedrun. I've already mentioned that the time when the game crashed till you reload the save game, so not to the very point the game crashed, will be removed from your in-game time, not from your RTA, from your real time. And you could potentially pause the timer yourself to remove it right away. However, I do not recommend to do so, since there were some issues of runners forgetting to unpause the timer when they reloaded the save game, and as mods will remove your time anyways when we verify your run. and afterwards you can tweak your splits when we tell you how much time you lost in that section. The last rule, that it is allowed to reload a save game created by the game in the current attempt, sounds trivial, but there's more to it, as you can see in the general advices. You should start a new profile each stream to avoid loading forbidden save games that you haven't actually created in your current attempt. Like for instance, you're playing through Bon Appetit and made it near Carlos' apartment and the game crashes, which is a common problem by the way. You restart the game and reuse your profile where you already completed the run. Since you think you already triggered the save game, you just continue inside of Carlos' apartment. The run is going to be rejected since you didn't complete the game, thus explaining this rule. And the first general advice is about using windowed mode, especially when recording with a one-screen setup, like I do it. And you can use the windowed borderless gaming tool to lock your mouse cursor and make it not exit the window of the game. You can also use DXWND for that, for the same purpose. A fantastic program which gives you a lot more features. The last advice is that you should use the local recording option of your streaming software, like OBS, XSplit, or whatever, to have a footage of your run, even if your internet connection keeps disconnecting. It is clear that a run will only be verified if some sort of proof, that means the run footage, will be submitted. And if there are gaps in it, in case you only stream to, for example, Twitch with internet outages, then it's up to a mod's decision whether or not to verify your run. If your run is challenging the top 10, there will not be as much leniency as if you completed a 4+ hour run. Think about watching a world record run with gaps here and there. Wouldn't be really convincing, right? Well, now enough from the general conditions of an any percent run. In the menu on the left hand side, you can not only find the leaderboard, but also guides for strats, or for example, how to set up the autosplitter. Since you are watching this tutorial, you're going to see all of the things mentioned there and more. The third point is an invitation link to our Discord server. Just have Discord running in the background if you're using the application on Windows or Linux, and it will automatically make you join the Mafia Speedruns Discord server. If you have any questions to the games, runs, or just want to learn to know the community behind the speedruns of the Mafia series games. It is definitely checked pretty often by all the runners, so asking there will bring you an answer compared to the forums on this side, which are not integrated the best way if you ask me. The fifth point, resources, is the most important here, since you will find all the necessary files for downgrades, etc. here. The two patches at the bottom are the downgrade files, or the instructions how to downgrade the GOG or Steam version. If you click on that, it will literally tell you to install the French language files provided on speedrun.com and to extract the downgrade files that you can find on the speedrun.com page. First, to the downgrade files. They are archived in the zip format, so no issues to extract them using the Windows Explorer or 7-zip, pzip if you like an open source software for that. There is a README file with instructions on how to install those files, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Just copy all the files from the downgrade folder into your Mafia directory. If you're wondering why there are two game.exe files, well, no comment. For the French language files that you can find on top of this page, you'll be redirected to Google Drive, where you can download all the DTA files by clicking download, or in that case alle herunterladen, on the right side of the page. These files are installed the same way as the downgrade files by just copying them into your Mafia folder, overwriting the existing ones that you might want to back up beforehand. If there is a problem downloading those files, since I think Google Drive has a download limit, just get in touch with me on our Discord server and I'll fix it as soon as possible. Last but not least, in the dry part of the introduction, I'll show you how to set up the autosplitter load remover. First of all, you need Livesplit to do so, unless you really want to use Lanfair, which I wouldn't recommend unless you're on Mac or Linux. Just follow this link to get to Livesplit's page, obviously also to be found in the description or by googling Livesplit. The current version is, let's check it out, 1.76, but I believe it's a more up-to-date one, and it is going to be updating itself once you installed it. I've installed it myself, so I'm just gonna start it up. There we go, Livesplit and Livesplit, and you'll be greeted by just a mere timer. Now let me crop it more on the timer to make it better to see, especially when watching this video on a mobile device. You could now go ahead, right click, edit splits, and create your own splits. But if you want to go the lazy route, you can download pre-made splits that I've uploaded in my Google Drive and use them. As you can see, there is a link that you can just copy, go to this page, and download it just like the French language files. I've already downloaded them, so all you have to do is just right click, open splits from file, go to your LSS file where you've downloaded it, start it up, and voila, you're pretty much set up. One information: if you're creating your own splits and want to use the split feature of the Livesplit script for the missions Sarah and the Whore, you need splits that contain the words Sarah or Whore respectively for it to work properly. There might be a component added in the future that resolves this issue to work with all possible names, but it's not really mandatory. Adding the script now is a piece of pie. Just right click, edit splits, and if you don't like these icons off the left side, just select them, hold shift, well, scroll to the bottom, hold shift, select them all, and press the del key to delete all the icons. You can already see two tabs in the timer, real time and game time, for the respective timing methods. Activating the script is now really easy because the game name has been already set up properly. Livesplit has checked that auto splitting and load removal is available, and all you have to do now is click on activate. Now in the settings, you can decide what the script should be doing. Should the script automatically start your timer when you skip the cutscene in an offer you can't refuse? Should it reset when you select new game in the menu or the save game of an offer you can't refuse? Beware, this might create problems if you like to misclick and then load an offer you can't refuse somewhere in the run. The script will reset your timer. Should the timer split after each mission? I personally had it deactivated, since in the RTA days runners split when they gain control in the next mission, and I do it up to this day by habit. The script can read in the memory and knows when a mission is technically over, which makes splitting more precise, if you want to call it like that. And that wraps it up for the options. The only thing to do, or left to do, is to actually activate Livesplit to be actively timing in-game time and not real time. You can do so by simply right-clicking, compare against, choosing game time, not real time. At the end of a run, you can also check your real time with right-click, compare against, real time. But keep in mind that if you manually pause the timer, for example after a crash, then the real time was paused as well, and therefore the run footage provides the easiest way to get the proper real time. Now you've successfully installed the autosplitter load remover, and you should try it out before starting runs. There might be issues that Livesplit cannot detect the game, or you can't reset, pause, split manually, which can be solved by activating global hotkeys in the settings that you can find here. But one solution that helped most runners was to start both Mafia and Livesplit as admin. Right click, start as admin, or even in the settings of the application you can set it up to be always starting as admin to get all the permissions, and then most things have run successfully. Now let's get to some gameplay. First of all, I need to create a new profile, so I'm just gonna do that, calling it introduction, or better yet, intro is good enough. Then first of all, reduce the volume of your audio because it's gonna be pretty loud. And now to the command, basically just the control schemes. The first 4 keys are already set up. It's the cursor key to move, then we have something to walk, and then pretty much the action and shooting button, right mouse button and left mouse button. But you can also see on the right column that you have some keyboard keys, U and F. It's sometimes smart not to use them in certain situations. And now first of all we have crouching, which is defaultly mapped to right control and Q. I'm gonna remap it to left control because I'm used to that, and you might do it otherwise. But here, jumping is a vital key, because what we want to do is, I'm just gonna set it to space in the principal or primary control scheme, and now I want to go to the secondaries, and you can see that E there. I want to map that to space as well. So basically I'm mapping space to primary and secondary, and that causes, as you can see, the secondary to be space, but the primary to be nothing. There's just a gap. So that's exactly what we want. We unbinded the jumping key. Now here you have other options like hiding the gun, then here throwing the gun away, which I'm gonna set to T, then reloading the gun, and then the aiming mode with the sniper rifle to use the scope, which I'm gonna set to L. Now here in the car controls it's getting serious, because now primary and secondary controls have a very interesting meaning, because the primaries are basically your classic analog steering, which is done by the cursor keys, and those aren't mapped yet. I'm just gonna map them to the num keys in the secondaries. And like I said, in the primaries you have this analog steering, just slightly from left to right, but in the secondaries you pretty much have a digipad. You're gonna go on and off, left or right directly. Now auto is just other stuff. Here on the top you just have how to aim, the sensitivity of your mouse basically, set it up to your personal taste. And then you have here something for the crosshair. You can set up a central point like I do, or not, just how you want it. But here, roulade latéral, you have to set it to oui, because we want to use the jumping glitch. Side rolls have to be activated. And now you also have the sous-titres, the subtitles. You can activate them or deactivate them, depending how you like it. So yeah, that's all for the controls. Let's just start up a little game in Freeride. So the first thing I want to show you is how to use the rapid fire glitch. You know how to basically shoot by yourself, just, you know, I'm crouching, stepping back here and shooting. Now I want to show you how to do it faster, just attracting those gangsters, and what you want to do is crouch, step back, and jump and shoot at the same time, or pretty much like a drum or a piano. You can see, crouching, stepping back, and now left mouse button, and in my case space, mashed against, and if you're fast enough and drumming them all together, you can even shoot faster. But at the end, when you reload, you want to do a little break and do it like a piano in order to skip this animation and basically to shoot faster. The Thompson isn't the only option to do it, obviously. You can use it with a sort of shotgun to make it faster. As you can see, you always skip the animation of reloading, so it's pretty fast. Just crouching, stepping back, and jump and shoot. You'll get used to it. You can do it with every weapon. I recommend, for example, something like the Colt 1911. It's gonna be just great. I'm just demonstrating it here again. It's the same procedure all the time. Crouching, stepping back, jump and shoot. Now the second glitch is the jumping glitch. We have set it up earlier with the unbinded jump key in the primaries. So now if you do a side roll, that means twice to the left or twice to the right, you do this. As you can see, you're pretty much stuck in that animation forever. You can only turn the camera using your mouse, but besides that, you're pretty much stuck in that action. So you go to the command, or basically to your controls, and then it's gone. But of course it also not only works with right, but also with left. Double left, you do a side roll, and you end up in this. And again, go to controls to stop it. Now you might ask, how to do side rolls in general now? How does it work? Well, basically, hold the direction key left or right, and add jump to that. And you do a classic side roll without that jumping shenanigans you would get with twice left or twice right, or something similar. So yeah, that's about the glitches. So let's get to some car mechanics. So as you can see, I'm driving with the normal cursor keys right now, up left, and Tommy gradually steers to the direction you want to drive to. So everything is just fine and dandy, just like you know it. Okay, is there someone? Oh, there's an officer. As you can see, he spotted me. I was too fast, so he wants to find me. Obviously you can pay fines, but in runs it's pretty slow, so you can just hide, and as you can see now the fine is shaded, or it's not that visible anymore. So if you just exit the car now, you can see this incognito mode in the faded version. Now you can run towards the cop and he won't actually recognize you anymore. So you can see it was pretty much in the car, and as soon as you get out of the car, you're pretty much a nobody for him, so he doesn't remember anything. So that's a method on how to lose cops, or how to re-trigger missions. if you're in the shaded mode, you can always do that. If it's still active, there might be issues with it. So you want to pretty much lose the cops or lose their sight, to be more precise. Now let's drive some more. And I see a cop car. So it would be nice to actually get to that cop car. So as you can see, I'm now speeding, going over 40 miles an hour, but he can't see me from behind. As soon as I get ahead of them, they see me. And I can see the other cop car. He doesn't spot me directly, only when I'm pretty close to him. So it's like a 3-4 car radius right ahead of them, but it gets very small in left or right side. So you can pretty much get away with most likely everything when you just get to the side, for example, shorting over a sidewalk instead of driving ahead of the road, in case you try to run a red light at a crossing. So yeah, we're having the handcuffs mode now, which is worse than the fine. When you now touch a cop, you get arrested and the mission's pretty much failed instantly, so you don't want to do that. In this case, I'm just too slow, I have to kill the cops. And as soon as you shoot a cop, you're gonna get the gun. And if you have the gun for too long or other cops still see you, you get the wanted state. And in that case, you might get roadblocks and all that stuff, so it's difficult to get out of the situation without reloading. You might blow up. But if you kill all the cops pretty quickly, and I really want to emphasize quickly, then you pretty much lost the cops easily. One more thing to the wanted state that you can trigger also while being chased by the cops to arrest you is that you pretty much instantly trigger all the cop cars on your way. So even if you don't do something that is prohibited, for example speeding or running a red light or crashing into someone, you'll still trigger the cops. You have seen me previously meet a cop car while I was being chased by those 2 cop cars, and I didn't trigger it because I didn't do anything wrong in that case. I wasn't speeding, I wasn't doing anything. So yeah, that's something you have to keep in mind. So now I want to conclude with one thing I completely forgot, and that is basically the driving. So if you classically start your car and drive with the cursor keys, you're steering the steering wheel gradually from left to right, as you can see. This makes sense for slow cars because you can still control them. But now the num keys, as you can see, I'm directly steering left, right, on, off. Just like everything on the digipad works. You either press it or you don't press it. There's no trigger button to it. So yeah, with bolt thrower, these keys are mandatory in case you don't want to spin around like me. In every single run attempt, I at least spin 10 times, so Drift King % is real if you guys want to see it now. But yeah, cursor keys for slow cars, for the bolt thrower, you need to gradually play around with secondary keys. At least that's my recommendation in case you want to keep control over the bolt thrower, which is easier said than done, since it's a beast to drive, but not as bad as the Crazy Horse. So yeah, that about wraps it up for the introductory video. If you have any questions, just post it in the comments, and we'll see each other in the next videos that will be about the new strats or the current route for those in-game missions mentioned in those videos.